Let's say you're setting up a Zapier webhook to receive information from a CRM or another API or a payment processor. And now you're wondering, well, if I haven't received any examples of the data, how am I actually going to set up the rest of the Zap with this webhook? This video is going to show you a quick little hack or two that I use in these situations to help me actually set up the rest of the Zap if I haven't received a sample of the data yet. Let's say we at this point of, I'm just quickly setting up the Zapier webhook, and you're going to see right away we don't have any sample data. So if I say test trigger and I've got the URL, I have no samples, so I can't set up the rest of the Zap. You're thinking, well, what do I do now? I can't even turn the Zap on, etc. So I'm going to show you a quick little hack that I like to do in these situations. Because we have the URL, so this is what we will give to the app or the CRM or whichever platform that we want to give the webhook to so they can send us information. What we can do is, in the second step, we can add a Zapier code block. Don't worry, you don't need to actually know how to code or anything. It's just a quick way, a very super quick, easy Zap step to set up that lets us quickly test this. You don't even need to enter any input data. You don't need to change anything. You can just click continue, you can say test and review. And you can see still we can't publish this because we haven't received any data from the Zapier webhook. So we're kind of stuck a little bit now. This is the second step to this quick little hack. So what you will do is we will take this URL, we'll quickly open it in another browser. We're going to add a question mark, and then you can add anything. So anything after the question mark is called a query string. And Zapier webhooks allows you to send information using a query string. So you can just do this quick little hack. It will give you a little thumbs up now, like a little okay. So we know that went through. And if we test trigger, we actually have a bit of data now to do something with. So you can see there we actually have data now. And now we can actually publish our Zap, which is awesome. Obviously what we would do now is we would let the app or the CRM that we've given this webhook to run for a day or two so we can actually get information, which we'd be able to see in the history. So we would know, okay, now we actually have samples that we can go update this Zap with once it starts running. Because you see, if it ran another day, then we'd have a sample show up in the history. And then we know we can go back, update the Zap to use the various steps. But there's one thing I want to show you that's an improvement on this, because this ran one task, obviously, so this used our tasks, which if we want to, we obviously want to limit that as much as we can. What I do in this case is I go back to edit the Zap and I add a filter step. I add a filter step that never passes. So you can see here, if I add a filter step that never passes, we'll never reach this step. And this is the step that is used in the task. And your filters only use a task if it passes. So I basically make it something that's never going to pass. So I'll just add whatever absolute jungle of words there. And this will never pass. And I can turn the Zap back on. And now if I run this again with a different name for some reason, we're going to have our Zap run again. But it used 0 tasks. So this is really great in a situation that we are expecting a high volume of Zaps to come through from this app or the CRM or something, and we just don't want to use our tasks unnecessarily. So we can add just that one extra step to save us some tasks. So this is a great way, just to summarize again, is what happens if we're setting up a webhook with Zapier and the app that we are waiting to send us information hasn't sent us anything yet. So the question then is, well, how do I set up the rest of the Zap? What I like to do in this situation, as I said, is to go actually finish off the Zap in this quick way, just a little code block at the end, and then add a filter step that's never going to pass. So we can actually get a bit of history going and we can visually see that we actually have examples now, and then we can go back and update our Zap in the previous first step when we get some information in.